So we've been discussing at the end of the last shir about that Yom Tov cuts off Shiva or Shloshim and so on. And Yomim Tovim, the three pilgrimage vessels, it says Simcha about them. So obviously the Simcha of the Midaraisa on the Shloshos Kregel, the three pilgrimage festivals, Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, ends the Avelos of Shiva or Shloshim. However, what about Rosh and Yom Kippur? They are Yomim Noraim. They have many similar halachas to the regalim, and they're not Shabbos. But is the nature of them such that they also end Shiva or end Shloshim? So this is discussed at length in the Gemara. And the Torah paskins, Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippurim Chashivi kרגלים. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur concerning ending Shiva and Shloshim are thought of as holidays. Lebטל האבילות, to end the mourning. Nahag shah לפני הפסח, if you have 1 hour of Shiva before Pesach. Osa shah חשובה כשבע. That hour itself is thought of as all 7 days of Shiva. V'shmoni yemei Pesach, and you now have 8 days of Pesach. Hari Tesvav, you're now at the 15th day of Shloshim, by the last day of Pesach. V'mashlim Alehem Tesvav, and you have another 15 days afterwards. And then, on that day, in the beginning of Iyar, you end the Shloshim. So in Eretz Yisrael, where we put up the matzeva, put up the tombstone on Shloshim, there are a whole bunch put up at that point. Shah achas lifnei עצרת, חשיב shiva. You have 1 hour or more of avelos before Shavuos. Chashiv shiva. This is 7 days. ועצרת חשיב shiva yamim, and Shavuos itself is considered 7 days. שכיון שאם לא הקריב קרבנות עצרת בעצרת, יש לו תשלומין כל שבע. Because if you didn't bring your carbon עולה סריya and carbon chagiga erev Shavuos or on Shavuos itself, you still have 7 days to bring it. Therefore, it's thought of as 7 days. Hachiv shiva. Hari Yadalit. So you now have 14 days. V'mashlim Alehem tes zayin, and you add another 17 days. So on the 24th of Sivan, you end your Shloshim. Viom sheni shel עצרת, עולה למנין tes zayin. The second day of Shavuos counts for these 17 days. V'kevan she'anu bקיאים bקביעא דירחא, because we know we're experts in establishing the calendar. Vein anu osim beis yamim ela mishum minhag. It's only a custom that we have to have a second day of Yantiv in the Chutz La'aretz. Chashiv Chol. It's considered like a weekday for this. But Chala Leminian Tesayin, it accounts for the count of the following 17 days. Shah achas lifnei Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, 1 hour before Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah itself. Hari Yadalit. This is 14 days for your Shloshim. Umegaleach erev Yom Kippurim. And you can shave erev Yom Kippur, shemivatel mimzer geras Shloshim, because Yom Kippur ends the Shloshim. So since it's going to end, you're allowed to shave l'chlod Yom Kippur. Shah achas lifnei Yom Kippur, 1 hour before Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur, and Yom Kippur itself. Har Yadal, this is 14 days. Megaleach erev hachag, you can shave erev chag. Shah achas. Because it's gonna the chag is gonna end Shloshim, you can shave. Shah achas lifnei achag. You sit for 1 hour before Sukkot. Ve'achag and the chag. Hari Yadalit. This is 14 days. Shmini Atzeres, Chashiv Shiva. Shmini Atzeres is another chag that is considered as if it were 7 days. Hari Chaf Aleph. This is 21 days. Viom chav shel shmini atzeres hari kaf beis, and the 20th is the 20th day. Vemashlim alehem shmona, and you have another day, so it's Rosh Chodesh Mar Cheshvan is the end of Shloshim. Shama Shemua Krova B'Shabbos. We're on to a different halacha now. There is a difference in what's called a Shmua Krova and a Shmua Rechoka. If you hear someone died within 30 days of the death, you see the full Shiva, 7 days. However, if you hear it more than 30 days after the death, this is called a Shmua Rechoka, and you sit Shiva for 1 hour. That's it. So if you heard something on Shabbos or Beregel or on Yom Tov, and at the point that you hear it's within 30 days of the death, Ulamotzi Shabbos v'leregel naseis rechoka. But by Motzi Shabbos, so Shabbos is the 30th day. Motzi Shabbos is the 31st day. So by the time, since you can't be noheg avelos on Shabbos, you don't start your avelos on Shabbos, you'd only start at Motzi Shabbos. If it were another day of the week, if the 30th day is on a Thursday, you now have 7 days of Shiva, even though many of those days will be observed after the 30th day. All right? You only have 1 day. Kedin Shmua Rechoka, like a Shmua Rechoka. Their minhag was 1 day, so it would be the night, and when it get up as soon as Shachris is over in the morning, or if it were during the daytime, as soon as you've said it all. The Noheg Avelis Biyom Echad, Mikzaso Kakulo, and part of the day is like the whole day. Ubashabbos uberegel noeg dvarim shabatzina. On Shabbos and Regel, you do private things, but not any public show availus. Shma'ama shmua rechoka b'Shabbos or beregel. You hear what you heard on Shabbos and Yom Tov was already more than 30 days after the person died. Eino noeg b'Shabbos uberegel afilu dvarim shabatzina. You don't do the private things even on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Motzi Shabbos noeg sha'a achas, but Motzi Shabbos you have 1 hour. V'daya, and this is enough. V'ken l'motzi regel, and so too is Motzi regel, 1 hour. Shama shmua krova b'Shabbos. If you heard a shmua krova on Shabbos, ka'asav b'smak, the Sefer Mitzvah Sekatan writes, de b'Shabbos ola liyom echad, u'lamachar korea. V'have yom Vav, and whatever you do on Shabbos privately counts, and Motzi Shabbos you tear Kriya, and that's it. Yom Vav, Yom Shiva le'aveluso. If Friday is the 7th day of his avelus, V'rav Rabbeinu Yechiel Kasav, the Shabbos Eino K'tchilas Minyan. Shabbos can never be the beginning of the count of Shiva. Ele Yatchil Limnos B'Yom Rishon, you start counting on Sunday. So if you start counting on Sunday, Shabbos Friday can never be the 7th day of Avelus, right? Because for it to be the 7th day of Avelus, they have to be starting on Shabbos, and that can't be. Shabbos Yom Shvi'i. And so, just like any other final day of Velos where you only have a Velos for part of the day, as soon as you've had any one of the things that we done B'tzina, we done privately for Velos on Shabbos, with that you finish your obligation for a Velos, and that is when the Shiva ends, and there is none of the various minhagim we have to end Shiva when Shiva ends on Shabbos. We should not have to observe the minhagim avelis, or at least very rarely, and we should quickly come the time when Hashem Elokim dima me'al kol panim, Hashem should wipe away the tears from everyone's face. V'lo yida dava'od, and we should know no more pain and suffering anymore. Be'ezras Hashem, Starting around Rosh Chodesh Elul, we're studying a new section in the Torah, which will be dealing with the mitzvos tluyos ba'aretz. Until then, enjoy your Chodesh HaGadol.